Welcome back, Swag Team. It's your boy, the Swagologist, back again with another SwagU TV review, and today we are doing The Mandalorian, Chapter 8, The Redemption, the final episode, the season finale of Season 1 for The Mandalorian. We're here, and we're ready to talk about this thing. If you haven't seen any of The Mandalorian, I suggest you stop the video right now. Go watch them all. They're all on Disney Plus right now. Go watch 1 through 8, and I have a review for each one of those, so make sure you check those out after each episode so you can get how I feel about them, and then you can enjoy this with me as we go through it. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about the season finale, all spoilers. So without further ado, I'm wasting any more time, man. Let's go. Now, the episode opens up with those 2 stormtroopers that went and killed Quill and took Baby Yoda, and are on their way back to Moff Gideon. You know what I'm saying? The big bad that we find out his name in this episode is Moff Gideon. We realize how much we don't like Moff Gideon and his constituents because these 2 guys. All right, first of all, one thing I do like about this episode is Taika Waititi's direction and comedic flair pops up right at the beginning with these 2 stormtroopers having a conversation about the baby, the child, and talking about what's going on up front. Like, they trying to see if they can go any further, because right there they're at the waiting for the access point, the word. So they're on comms talking to another stormtrooper. The stormtrooper's like, well, he just killed a bunch of stormtroopers of his own men to prove a point. And they're like, what? You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, this is where dude gets disrespectful and made me want to come into the TV and give him, you know, some words or some hands, mostly some hands. He punched Baby Yoda. Like, excuse me, bruh? So he hits Baby Yoda, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Well, no, he hit him twice. He hit him twice, and dude hit him once. But dude hit him twice, I was like, hit him again. Hit him again, all right? I hope you get yours. I can't wait till you get yours. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Then other dude, he's like, let me see him. I want to see him. But before that, they're shooting. And see, this is Taika Waititi's brilliance. They're over there shooting at this can and both missing because stormtroopers obviously are trash at shooting. So he's over there shooting and missing the crap. But then dude shows him Baby Yoda because he keeps asking. He wants to see so bad. He finally sees. They both don't know really what it is. They just know they got to get it to the Moff. And dude decides to mess with his face and look away, and Baby Yoda bites his finger like he should have. And then he has the disrespect to hit him too. All right. Now y'all remember how I was talking about IG-11 in last chapter's review, right? And how I think he's gonna play big in this one. Well, he shows up. You know what I'm saying? He says, don't do that again. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Don't do that again. And it was like, what are you supposed to be like, or whatever? And they like told him to go away. And he was like, I'm a nurture droid or whatever. And it was like, ain't IG-11s knowing hunter droids or whatever? But I guess this one's a nurse or whatever. Well, go away. And he was like, if you don't hand me the baby, I'm gonna put violence on you, you know what I'm saying? And take the baby from you. And it was all like, go away. All right. And then dude went to like basically point the blaster in IG-11's face. IG-11 grabbed it, cracked that thing. I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. Then he took dude's head and he was just pounding it against the other speeder bike. I was like, man, why you gotta do it like that? But I love seeing IG-11 at his badassery level going through the roof right here. I mean, and then we get a title card. The Reckoning. You know, I meant the Redemption, my fault. You know what I'm saying? I told you this. We had Infinity War last time, but they killed Quill. Now it's time for Endgame right here. It's going down in the DM. We're back, and we see that Moff Gideon's still standing there like a G. I ain't gonna cap. And then he starts dropping knowledge and dimes on us that we didn't expect to come in. So, because everybody's trying to figure out, why is he just waiting? What's happening? What are they waiting on? Come to find out, they're waiting on this huge weapon called an E-webb, or as Moff Gideon would describe it, an E-webb heavy repeating blaster. Okay, because this dude likes to show off his knowledge a lot. Apparently this is what he gets off on, is showing off his knowledge and being a dick, just a huge one. So what he decides to after that is to drop all their names and all their information. I was like, whoa. Dude knows that Cara Dune, Catherine something dude, I forgot her middle name, but he says her entire name from Alderaan. So now we know she's a rebel shock trooper from Alderaan. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking about how that weapon laid waste to a lot of her troops and everything. I'm like, dang, that's just disrespectful. Then he was like, decommissioned Mandalorian hunter Djarin. So now we know Mando's name. I was like, yo, and we found out from that guy. Like, that's crazy. So now Djarin is my man's name. Djarin, how you want to call him. Now we know what to call him. We still don't know what Baby Yoda's name is. As of right now, he's the child, the baby, or Baby Yoda for the fans. You know, it's never gonna be called Baby Yoda on the show. But we know where our heart is with my man's the child. He starts dropping the knowledge that, so now we're like, dang, who is this dude and why does he know every damn thing? But then we come to find out from Djarin, the Mando, how he knows everybody, because he knows who he is once he heard Moff say his name. He was like, that's Moff Gideon. And they was like, no, it's Moff Gideon. Kara's like, no, Moff Gideon died in some trials a long time ago. And he's like, no, that's Moff Gideon, because he said my name. He said my name, and I ain't heard that name since he was a child. And he was like, on Mandalore? He was like, I wasn't born on Mandalore. He's like, but you're a Mandalorian. And this is Mando talking to Greef Karga, and Greef Karga's all like, but you're a Mandalorian. Cara Dune was like, the Mandalorian's not a race. And then Djarin was like, it's a creed. So then they go to that flashback that we've been teased throughout the whole series, and they're talking about, and it goes back to, of course, during the prequel era, and when his parents was holding him and trying to get him to safety while these battle droids, and they found this bunker and they put him in there, and then you know that famous little thing where he's like reaching out, and then boom, a bomb just basically dropped on his parents, killed them both, and all of a sudden they open the door and there's the battle droid about to kill my man Djarin, but then a Mandalorian shoots him, and you don't quite see where they're from or whatever, or what kind of clan they're part of, until he gets them on his arm and he flies off. And then shout out to the Clone Wars for them bringing up Death Watch, and it's pretty cool that they were in this scene. And even though they've done some suspect things in Clone Wars, it's cool that they did come out and do this, because I mean, they do want to bring back the Mandalorian warrior culture and show that they can do justice in the galaxy. But they went about it the wrong way in Clone Wars, but they did great things here, and it was good to see them and for them to give a shout out to Clone Wars like that. That was awesome. We go back into where Djarin, Cara, and Greef are all standing there talking about what to do. And while Moff was talking and trying to show off that he's smarter than them and got them in every step and turn, Djarin had already figured that we could go through to the sewers to find his clan, you know what I'm saying, the other Mandalorians that helped us escape earlier in episode 3, my favorite episode. They find the grate, but they couldn't get it open at first, and they're trying to figure out what to do. And then all of a sudden he remembers that Quill might have gotten to the ship, because he was telling Quill to go to the ship, but he lost contact. But he knows in his head that if they have the child now, then they'd be dead already. So something went wrong, and he's trying to figure out what happened. And when he finally gets connected, IG-11 ends up answering and telling him that Quill's dead, or has been terminated. And of course, Mando's not feeling that, or Djarin's not feeling that. He's like, what did you do? Because he doesn't trust battle droids, of course. And he was like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And he's like, what's what I was programmed to do? And he's like, what's that? To nurse and protect. So then he goes straight IG gangster mode. Zooms into the base and starts killing these stormtroopers left, right. Back to the awesomeness of my man. He gets in there. He slides the stormtrooper thing off. Boom! Blasts a couple of them cats over. They're all coming up trying to figure out what's going on. He's shooting, taking them down. He flips he flips the child to his back. He takes the guns, flips them around because his body could just do that. He starts tearing them suckers up, boy. It is awesome. Loving it. Then all of a sudden, Djarin and Cara Dune and Greef realize what's going on, so they get ready for battle. And then my Mando gets to show some of that badass once again. He kicks the door open, boom, kicks dude, bang, shoots dude the side of that bow. I was like, okay then. Then we got Cara Dune with the big heavy machine gun up top, taking cats down, and it's going down to the DMs. The fight is on right now, right? So we're battling, taking out stormtroopers left and right. Bow, 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 bow. They start getting a little heavy-handed, so then my man Mando grabs the E-webb and starts going in, gunning. I was like, yo, it's like the dude picked up a 50 cal by himself and started going stupid half on cats, just killing them, right? So he's taking care of business. Cara still got the outside shots on. My man and Greef is taking care of business by the door. Then all of a sudden they pop IG a couple times on the shoulder, boom, boom, so he falls to the ground, right? So I'm like, dang. Then we got a Death Trooper going towards the door, and he puts a bomb on it, blasts it open. He goes inside, Cara Dune's down the ground. So then my man Mando looks over, he sees what's going on, he's trying to take care of it, but then all of a sudden, Moff has had enough. He steps up, he sees what's going on, he's had enough. So he shoots Mando in the back, bing, and pops off the Beskar. So then Mando's like, oh, all right. So he's about to bring the 50 cal, well, the E-webb over to him. It's like, all right, well, it's good now. But Moff, to give him credit, he is a smart guy. He's a dick, but he's a smart guy. He saw the 50 cals, like, I keep calling it 50 cal, my fault. The E-webb's like battery pack, whatever thing, right? He just blasted that thing, boom, and it just knocks the crap out of Djarin, knocks him all the way back, hits his head on the pavement, boom. And he's like, concussion protocol for sure. If he was in the NFL, he would definitely go to the sideline for some concussion protocol. My girl Cara sees this, rushes over, picks him up, lifts him, takes him to the back. They're inside the little bunker they was pinned down in. So now they're trying to figure out what's up. IG-11 gets in there. They take out a few more cats, and then they're trying to figure out what to do next, right? Greef decides to grab the baby and bring him closer to him, and IG's like, if you take that baby, I will have to kill you. He's like, I understand, but can you get the grate open? He's like, affirmative. So he gets it open. He starts to use his lasers to get it open. So now Kara's talking to Din, and Din's like, I can't go any further. This is the end for me. Take this, and he pops off his little, boom, pops off his Mandalorian chain or whatever, and hands it to her and says, take this to the Mandalorians. Let them know that Din Djarin found a foundling, he's his protector, they'll help you. And she's like, I'm not leaving you. And he's like, you gotta go. And she's like, I'm not leaving you, you know what I'm saying? But Moff is like pissed off, so he tells the flame troopers to flame him out. So a flame trooper comes up with this big flamethrower, and he comes in the room, and they're battling on who needs to go and who doesn't. It's kind of getting a little sad, you know what I'm saying? And dude's like, you gotta leave me. I'm not gonna be able to make it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, there's no way they're about to kill him right now this first season, but it's like, it's not looking good, you know what I mean? Flame trooper comes in the room. He comes in, he's flaming up everything, and then he's about to take a big shot straight at Baby Yoda, the child, and the child's not having it. So the child comes up and you're like, oh shit. He takes both his hands, and you already know what time it is. He starts using the Force. And it's every time it's captivating when he uses the Force, even though we've seen the Force many times, we already know what the Force is and everything like that. But we still don't know everything, of course, about it. Even we got introduced to something new about it from the child in this series. But now we see him protecting his family and keeping the flames back from killing him and the Mandalorian and everybody in the room. IG convinces her to take the baby and go, and he'll bring him. And she was like, promise me you'll bring him. She was like, IG was like, you have my word. So they both go, both him, because IG gets the grate open, they both go down to the sewer, and as in Greef and Cara, they go down there, and now it's just IG-11 and Djarin, and Djarin's like dying there, but the only way IG-11 can save him is if he takes his helmet off. And at first he's like not having it, you know what I'm saying? He's like, if you take this off, I'm gonna kill you. And he was like, no living thing has seen my face since I was a child. And IG-11 was all like, I'm not a living thing. So we finally get to see Pedro Pascal as Djarin, aka the Mandalorian has finally revealed his face. So we've got that payoff in this season, which was pretty epic. And I'm hoping in season 2 we get to meet some other Mandalorians that might have a different perspective on this helmet situation. But I am very curious to how that will like play off between the Mandalorian that takes this helmet off all the time versus him being taught that that's not the way. You know what I'm saying? I want to know how that's going to affect him in the future if that does so happen to happen in season 2. But let's continue with going right there. We got to see his face, and then he's IG-11 says a terrible joke, and he was like, "You mean my brain?" He was like, "It's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to make you laugh and feel relaxed." And he's like, "Yeah," basically. Then they go down, and we get to see that Mando has recovered. He's given this medicine that does a fast, speedy recovery, which is awesome. And at first he's a little wobbly, of course, but then he finally gets he gets it to where he can actually walk on his own. So it's starting to heal him. He's starting to get a speedy recovery. But then sadly we see a bunch of the Mandalorian gear and helmets laid in the middle of the area where we met his clan earlier in the season. And we're like, dang, they done killed everybody? That's some bullshit, right? And then he comes to Grief and he's like, Grief, did you do this? Talking to Grief Karga, and Grief Karga's like, no, I did not do this. And he's like, are you sure? And he believes he did it wholeheartedly. But then we got the Armour. She survived, thank God. And she was there to tell him that no, it wasn't him. It was the Imperials that came after we revealed ourselves. We did this, and these are the consequences of our actions. And then Mando's like, did anyone survive? She was like, I hope so. I feel like a few of them got away and scattered themselves across the galaxy, and I'm the only one left here. Mando was like, well, you need to come with us. And she was all like, nah, I'm staying here, and I'm taking what else is left to salvage until there ain't nothing else to salvage anymore. Then I'll make my way somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow. We come to find out that basically no one on this side of the galaxy really knows the Force like that, and they know like of stories and of Jedi, but they don't really know it, you know what I mean? Which I find is interesting. Even the all-knowing Armour doesn't really know everything. She just knows of a song of the great Mandalorian fighting sorcerers named Jedi and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And then we come to find out that by creed, now Djarin has to either take Baby Yoda, aka the child, to its species, and what they're considering this species in this conversation is Jedi, and or what it is itself. She says to its species. He says, so you want me to take it to enemy sorcerers? And she's like, well, they were enemies. They were, keyword were, but this one is not, you know what I'm saying? And he's under your care, and by creed, you're his father now. And it's like, wow, okay. So now, but he can also, there's also a thing that he can wait till it's of age to teach it the way of the Mandalore, and make it become a Mandalorian, because it's now a foundling. Because he was like, what is it? And you was I was slightly half hoping she would tell us exactly what the species was, just like Moff Gideon dropped bombs on us. Maybe she was going to drop that bomb, that little egg, but nope, that's going to cover the future. Maybe. We don't know. I still don't know if that's ever going to happen. But she was like, it's a foundling. I was like, you got us. You got us. It's a foundling. And now you're the father. So now season 2 is going to basically be trying to figure out, find the child's species and or clan or people, or, you know, the Jedi, either the Jedi or really a bunch of alien green source users, which would be cool. I don't know which one I want. I don't care which one I want. I just want them to give me greatness, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait. So yes, she ends up giving him that, but then she also gives him the insignia and makes him a full-blown, it's like he went and became a Jedi Master for the Mandalorians. He is officially a Mandalorian. He has got his creed. He has got his insignia, the mud horn, because he had explained what happened with the Mudhorn, and because of the foundling of the child becoming a foundling, he officially became a Mandalorian. And then she also gave him his wings by giving him his jetpack. So now he's officially a Mandalorian, and it's really awesome that Djarin got that. And it brought a smile to my face when she gave him his jetpack, because I think that's just the most awesomest thing that Mandalorians have next to their arsenal of weapons that at their disposal. They leave her. They get IG to take care of the first wave of Imperials coming to kill them. And then they go to where she says go, because they have to figure out a way to get out of there. And she tells them to go down the lava lake, I'm gonna say, in this conversation, and hit the lava flats. So they go on to the ship. They have to get the ship, and then all of a sudden there's this R2 unit with arms and legs. I was really interested. I just never see the R2 unit like that. It was pretty crazy, but it's made specifically to pilot that boat. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying. So he's rowing it, and they're going down, and then all of a sudden Djarin's like, this is too easy, because they see the exit, and he does this little thing on his wrist. I love the gadgets that Mandalorians have and all the equipment they use, but he sees through there that they're actually flanking the entrance. So if they go through there, they're all dead. They're going to shoot them all down because they're flanking the entrance right now. So then IG-11 pulled some heartstrings and almost got some tears out of me, because he decided that the only way they would survive is if he takes his own life and self-destructs to save everybody. And it was a real heartwarming moment, you know. And for me, self-sacrifice is always a big thing for me. It always makes me feel teary-eyed or want to cry or whatever, or I do cry, depends on what's happening. But it was sad and sweet moment to actually see Mandalorian, who at the beginning and throughout this whole series, and even in this said episode, hates droids and does not like droids. And for once, he actually cared about one deeply and wanted IG to stay, but he couldn't, because the only way they would survive is if he took his self-sacrifice. So he self-sacrifices, blows up all the stormtroopers that was at the gate. They get through. What a crazy arc for both IG and Mando from episode 1 till now. They come out, and Moff is just sick of it. He's just sick of it, so he takes his ship and he starts blasting at their boat, and they're having at it. And both Cara Dune and Greef are trying to figure out what to do next, and Mando's like, I got an idea. So then he puts on his jetpack, and then soon as Moff does his second pass, he flies up right past them, comes down behind him, shoots at his grappling hook, connects to the back of that, zooms back up to the top, starts shooting at the top of the building. So then Moff is trying to swing him off. He's tilting the plane, tilting the plane, and then all of a sudden Mando goes to put his bomb on the plane. It falls though. It's like, dang, but luckily he had another one. He gets it on there, connects it, flies off, and then all of a sudden Moff realizes on his radar that his ship has an emergency on that wing. He's like, no! Boom! Blows that thing up. It flies off, hits the ground. Moff's out of there. Let's go. And then Mando comes down. He still is not like perfect with the jetpack, because he's just getting it. He's just getting back healthy from that previous injury earlier. Plus he hasn't flown with one or trained with one yet. He has to train, and he'll be doing that in season 2, or maybe off screen. Not totally sure. But I love that he's still kind of not fully good at it, but he has a little bit of skill with it. You know what I mean? I thought that was a nice touch, the way he landed. So then Cara Dune and Greef Karga talks about how he wants them to stay and be part of the guild again, and how she should stay and be part of the guild, and if she does, then, or be his like second hand, and he'll get her record clean. And she was like, she can. He's like, if you do, I get your record clean. So then she ends up staying. So obviously they're going to be together for season 2. And my man Djarin is like, I have to get the child to where he needs to be. So my man Greef is like, well, anytime you come back, you're more than welcome to join the guild at any time, and you're always welcome here on this planet or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're good with me and you're a good man or whatever, you know what I mean? So then he flies off with my man with the child in his arm with the jetpack, flies back to the ship, and before they get on, Mando makes a small grave site for Quill. I have spoken guy was put to rest the proper way, and I'm glad that happened. I'm glad they took time to do that. That was awesome of the show and of Mando for doing that for his friend. So then Djarin and the child get on the Razor Crest. They get back on the Razor Crest, and all of a sudden Mando looks back and he's noticed that the child has something in his hand. He's like, what is that? And it turns out it was his Mandalorian symbol chain that he had gave to Car to give to the baby and tell him that, you know, earlier when he thought he was going to die and he thought he was never going to see it again, and the child still had it. So that was awesome. And he ends up telling the child to, you hold on to that, you know what I'm saying? So he lets him hold on to it, and then all of a sudden you hear the great theme song as they fly away. You know what I'm saying? As they fly off, and you see Kara and Grief going back to the city or whatever, walking away, but then they pan over, right? They pan over to where Moff Gideon's ship fled it. So I'm like, damn it, this motherfucker's alive, right? But not only that, you see the Jabba's trying to steal stuff, steal parts, all of a sudden then you hear and I'm like, lightsaber? But it's not old, just any lightsaber. You see a black lightsaber with some white glow around it. I'm like, the Darksaber? Are you serious right now? So they had, Moff Gideon has the Darksaber. So I'm like, so how did he get it? Did he get it from Darth Maul? Did he get it from Bo-Katan? Like, where did he get this Darksaber from? I'm leaning towards Bo-Katan. Does that mean Bo-Katan's coming to the show? I hope so. That would be lit. I want to see her. She's from Clone Wars. If you don't know who I'm talking about, make sure you check out Clone Wars. It's definitely worth it. It's a lot of amazing Star Wars stuff up in there, so make sure you check that out if you haven't. But let me know what your favorite part of Episode 8 and the whole series. Let me know what your favorite part of the whole Mandalorian Season 1 was, and let me know what your favorite part of the finale was, and let me know if you're excited about Season 2, all in the comment section below. Also, if you're new here and you're trying to join the Swag Team, make sure you hit the subscribe button down low, or hit it right here when it pops up on the side. Also, if you want to be the first to the Swag Team to see a video when it pops up on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the notification bell. It'll pop up right when you subscribe and join the Swag Team. So hit that subscribe button, then that bell will pop up. You click that ding, and you never miss a video pops up on the channel, whether it's on your computer, cell phone, tablet, whatever. So make sure you do that so you don't miss on any of the swag when it drops. If you like this review, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It helps with the channel. But if you didn't like it, I ain't tripping. Look at Jordan, I ain't pimping. But make sure you let me know what your favorite part of the Mandalorian Season 1 was, your favorite part of Chapter 8, the redemption, man. Let me know all that in the comment section below, and these social media sites at the bottom. And until the next video, I love y'all 3000. I'll holla. Peace. This is the way.